Hello and welcome to my video. In this video I will discuss anxiety and how and why it can become pathological and what you can do to help you overcome the problem. There are many and varied opinions amongst the medical establishment as to what anxiety is about. Everything from a variation of a fear response to a natural response towards future danger, and some are considering it as a state of worry. I would say they have a little bit of the truth in each of what they are saying. If we look carefully at an anxious person and examine what they are saying, as well as looking at brain scans, we can soon see that anxiety is not an emotion or one emotion, but rather it is two emotions that don't coexist but are sequential, back and forward, back and forward. Let's look at the most common form of anxiety first, and that is fear and worry. Fear due to some perceived possible future problem or condition, and worry, which is thinking, trying to find a solution, trying to work out what to do. Fear is the fight or flight response. It raises the heart rate and the breathing to get in more oxygen and dumps sugar into the bloodstream, all ready to give the musculature an advantage for fuel materials. Worry lowers the heart rate to bring the metabolism back to resting metabolism, to facilitate thinking and reasoning. It gives the brain an advantage for fuel material. So there is a movement from a fight or flight response to a resting metabolism where the person engages in thinking. Once they do that, they start perceiving the danger again. So it's back to fight or flight response, and then again a desire to find a solution, work out what to do, and back to resting metabolism. So the heart is getting signals to go fast and then slow and then fast again and so on. Now, under normal conditions, under ordinary conditions of anxiety, this swing back and forward is not severe. Under normal circumstances, there's no real danger. The problem that the person worries about is a potential danger, not present danger. And no disease would manifest. However, if there is an underlying a concealed threat, if it's foul gameplay and there's a concealed threat, then the fight or flight response isn't due to the perception of an idea that of some future danger. It is due to the perception of a threat and is seen in people with an anxiety disorder. And while the person tries to move to resting metabolism to figure out what to do, but it swings back very forcefully and very rapidly because there is a concealed threat. Now that is where the heart will be getting signals to go fast and then slow and then fast and then slow repeatedly with a high amount of intensity. And that is where a disease may develop because the effects on the heart are severe. And the worst of it would be depression and or heart disease, heart failure, because the heart will become ineffective as a pump. Now, the biomedical scientists don't appreciate that there is underhanded foul game play. So they assume that a fight or flight response will arise with life issues, possible losing a job or losing a spouse and so on. This is not the case. This is what is assumed. And they go on to suggest that possibly our amygdala, which is involved in the fight or flight response, which triggers the fight or flight response, which they see as the detecting device in the brain, triggers the fight or flight response indiscriminately. There's no indiscriminate triggering of the fight or flight response. Some scientists do acknowledge that the triggering comes from the prefrontal cortex, the decision-making part of the brain. The prefrontal cortex signals the amygdala to trigger a fight or flight response. However, even they fall short because they won't recognize anything other than the biology, the body. That is not the case. Things appear inexplicable when the person, the patient, has no knowledge of the threat. They are aware, but they have no knowledge, so they don't know what they're aware of. But even where there are thoughts, so it appears enigmatic. It appears as if the emotion comes first and then the thought. Only in foul game play does the emotion come first, and it appears that the thoughts and the emotion are concurrent. In normal life, thoughts come first, and then we react to those thoughts, and there is emotion. It's the individual, the conscious being, that perceives the danger. In ordinary circumstances, under normal conditions, there is no perception of danger because there is no danger. There's no threat. The perception of danger only arises where there is a concealed threat. And that concealed threat is not aimed to be carried out. It is aimed for a variety of reasons, including to make the person more perceptive of the source of the danger, which is the chief offender, and thus be more perceptive of ideas being presented to them. Those ideas, of course, about future danger, a problem. And if we look at the second type of anxiety, which includes anger, it's fear, anger, and worry. These symptoms are particularly bad. And the reason is because it is not only the signals to the heart to go fast and slow. There is, in addition, signals to the heart from the lungs, because anger involves deeper, more forceful breathing, which has an effect on the heart. And we need to consider too that the anger is a manufacture, and I will explain that shortly. Then we can appreciate that the anger has an enormous effect over and above what normal anger would look like. This was done to me quite some years ago now. Some people came and asked for a little bit of water, and I assumed they wanted water from my tap. I said they could have a little bit of water, but not to take a lot. Then the woman held up her forefinger and her thumb and said, "We only want just a little bit of And then the two men with her started laughing. Now, I was perplexed at the time, but what it turned out later was they weren't really wanting water from my tap. They wanted a little bit of water, but in a different context. So it was a cheat. Then, a short while later, they began to present this to me mentally. Ideas including that I'd been cheated. A little bit of water, ha ha ha, and it's a cheat. And I had become very angry in the end. And I couldn't understand why I was so angry. I wouldn't normally be this angry about some little cheat, although at the time I thought it was only a little cheat. It wasn't really, it was a big cheat. But this idea of an excessive anger was also a giveaway, because I started to think about it, and then, knowing the foul game play, I realised there was a concealed threat behind it, that it couldn't be simply anger. The energy predominantly was from fear and not anger. I was annoyed, irritated, but the anger wasn't really anger that I felt. It was a manifest created by a concurrent concealed threat. Then I was able to let go of it, and they failed to affect me any further. So there are two main things to consider in order to overcome the problem, or at least to lessen it significantly that it doesn't affect your daily life. If they can't affect you, have seen, they give up, at least on that line of abuse, cheating. One, and very important, is to realise that the fight or flight response is due to a concealed threat, and it is unrelated to the ideas. The ideas are being presented to you mentally by somebody who is closely related and inhumane, and of course has some agenda. They want to gain some control over you, manipulate you, or to take some sort of revenge. They're the main reason. The ideas are artificially made effective. You believe that the ideas must be real because they indicate some problem or danger, and you feel fear. That isn't the case. The ideas and the emotion, they're just concurrent. Also, even before realizing that there is fear, your metabolism is already a higher rate metabolism. This is normally what we feel when we confirm something or approve of something. We have agreement because there's a higher emotional charge. So this fight or flight response in the first instance cheats the person in accepting the ideas and then of course reacting to them, because in the second instance that high emotional charge is interpreted as fear because the ideas indicate danger or a problem and it's associated mistakenly. You have issues in your life and somebody that wants to manipulate you, influence you somehow, is using those issues, taking advantage of them to manipulate you, to control you. Once you can see the deception, then you can be free of it. It is important to realize that there isn't simply the body, but there is also a conscious being. I tried to add into this video the argument for that, but it made it too long. So I'm making another video to show you that your reaction as conscious being brings about the physiological changes in the body. So it is important to understand that it's not all explainable from the body only, the biology only. We need to understand who we are and how we react. because only then can we take full control over our health.
Thank you for viewing my video.
And here is a gecko that lives in my old printer. This one is a normal gecko, it's one of its mates, and you can see its eyes are normal. My desk, of course, is hellishly untidy, and they've got lots of hiding places. That one gecko, it has a distortion of its eye, like a balloon. The one eye is like a balloon. So it has a balloon shape. It's obviously a genetic problem. And this is the gecko's sound. This is the printer compartment where it lives. It goes in there. And when it's ready to come out again, it pokes its little head and has a look